What would you prefer? Would you prefer do you prefer a very high revelation, something very lofty that you can be wowed by? You don't necessarily know how to use it in your life, but wow, it's so impressive. That speaker is so brilliant. What they said, that sikha was so incredible. Did you integrate it? I don't know how, but it was amazing. Do you like that? Or do you prefer when things are more modified, some people call it dumbed down, and I'm actually able to integrate it into my life, to actually use it, but, it's more basic stuff. I've kind of adapted it to myself. And an example would be, well, first of all, welcome to our Pnimi, this is Sarah Tova Best. An example would be a very special boy, a very special boy that many years ago passed away. I remember that being at their house, and he was talking about the mun. It was the parsha, the weekly parsha, and he was talking about the mun. When we talk about the mun, we say it had any taste. It could taste like the most exotic, and we would name all the most exotic foods. So he was saying, if you wanted it to taste like tuna fish, it tasted like tuna fish. If you wanted peanut butter, it tasted like peanut butter. And it was very sweet because his ideas of what would be the ultimate taste of the mun was tuna fish, right? And we have more sophisticated palates. So that's kind of an example of this question. Do you prefer something very exalted, something, wow, I don't really relate to it in a practical way in my life, but I like to be wowed? Or do you like something that, let's make it simpler, basic, peanut butter, tuna fish kind, and I integrate it in my life? When we're talking about ideas of geula and deep wisdom and deep Kabbalistic wisdom and what the parsha really is, you want to be able to live the parsha, but you made it pretty simple. Or do you want to have the real juicy, what is the parsha really saying? Al pi Chassidus, al pi Kabbalah in the deepest way. Could we have both? Parsha Ve'eschanan. Tashinun Aleph, this Sicha, of course, says, as the classical style of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, of course, not only can we have both, we should want both. We're at that moment of that transition from Gullus to Geula, of all the transitions that could ever happen are happening now. And to want both is the correct instinct. The highest revelations of Hashem, the highest revelation of His wisdom, and I'm integrating it, and I get it, I understand it, and I integrate it in my life. So, Mazel Tov, it's this week. Shabbos Nachamu, Parshas Ve'eschanan. And to explain it in short. So first of all, the good news is available this Shabbos. Ladies and gentlemen, or ladies and ladies, coming to your locale. Bli Gvul energy of Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem is bringing us Bli Gvul infinite energy to enable us to have both, the best of both. When? Shabbos Nachamu. How do we know? Look at the Haftarah. The Haftarah starts Nachmu Nachmu Ami. And in fact, the story behind it is, the storyline, so to speak, is that the Nevi'im, etc., come to Hashem and say, Hashem, after the Churban Beis HaMikdash, we're going to the Yidden and trying to comfort them, give them nechama, and they don't want to take our comfort. It's not working. They don't want to receive what we're trying to give them. They're sort of saying they only want direct comfort directly from Hashem. And Hashem says, okay, I'll go to them myself. We'll look at that in a second. I'll go to them myself, and I myself, Elani ba'atzmi. Ein roi leilech elani ba'atzmi. Only I can go myself. That's all they will accept. That's what's needed right now. As it says, Nachmu Nachmu Ami. And that includes all these 7 weeks of Nachamu. So what is this energy? How do we have this energy through these words, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami? Number 1, Hashem, it's telling us Hashem himself is coming to us. And what's he bringing us? Bli gvul energy. Infinite energy, energy that has no limitations. Oh, good. Because the problem, if the Beis HaMikdash is being rebuilt, the first 2 were amazing, but they had limitations, like they came to an end and were destroyed. We can't go through that again. We're being promised, this is it. No more destroying the Beis HaMikdash. This will be eternal. How do you have an eternal Beis HaMikdash? Bli gvul energy, no limitations. You mean the limitations of nothing lasts forever, including the Beis HaMikdash doesn't last forever, will not apply? Right. How is that possible? Bli gvul energy, bli gvul, no limitation energy connected to the third Beis HaMikdash. The whole essence of the third Beis HaMikdash is bli gvul energy. And its building is through Shabbos Nachamu, through Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is the moment when the non-Jew heard the cow moo, and said, the Jews' holy temple was destroyed. And then he heard another moo right after that. He said, the Noiled Mashiach Shel Yisrael, the Redeemer of the Yidden, was born. Tisha B'Av is a dual reality. The beginning of Galus, simultaneously the beginning of Geula. How do you have both together? They're 2 opposite energies. Right. In the world of limitations, it's either that or that. In the world of bli gvul, you can have both at the same time. We're not used to that frequency. But that's the frequency of Geula. Our task at hand is to start to get used to that kind of, to even picture in Torah and picture that kind of energy and believe that it is the energy of the future and it's supposed to become the energy of the present, and step into it and get out of our stuck point where we think that everything has to have a limitation, there's entropy, nothing lasts forever, etc. We live with the reality of, like, when is the next shoe going to fall? You know, when is the disaster going to hit if things are good? And the energy of Mashiach and Geula is that reality ends. We step into something that's infinite, and it changes everything. So that all comes through Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Those double words, therefore, those double words show an infinity, bli gvul, and there are actually 5 lashonos that are double, and they all show an infinity. There's lech lecha, there's the chaf, there's lech lecha, there's nun, nachmu, nachmu, there's pei, pakat, pakadadi, there's mem, lamar, misra, tzadik, samach, samasi. These are all double words. But in the other ones, it's a word and then a variation of the word the second time. This one is the only one where it's not the same word twice. A much more powerful expression of infinite energy without limitations. It's called forever energy. Forever energy. Interesting that forever energy is found in different places, including the present moment that anybody is in at any given moment. There's something about, but that's for another time. In the present moment, there's access to special energy that doesn't exist in other ways. The moment of birth, etc. A deep connection with Torah, a deep connection with Hashem, a moment of Mesiras Nefesh. These are moments of infinity, and one can feel the infinity in them. In fact, we can feel the infinity in Tisha B'Av. It's just backwards infinity. Where do we feel the infinity in Tisha B'Av? It feels like it'll never end. And there's something about the darkness of the Gullus that it feels like it will just never end. You know, when is this going to end already? You know what that's called? It feels like it will go on forever. Oh, wait a minute. Forever energy is from the world of infinity, isn't it? Because in the world of limitations, nothing lasts forever. So why do we all walk around thinking that the darkness somehow feels like it's going to last forever? What forever? We're not used to forever. Nothing lasts forever, right? But we do kind of feel like it feels like the darkness will last forever. So we do have some connection to infinity, just in the backwards way. It's in the Tisha B'Av way. Tisha B'Av feels like it begins the Gullus, which gives us that feeling that the darkness will, God forbid, last forever. But that's probably because Tisha B'Av is the moment of the birth of forever Beis HaMikdash. The Geula will last forever. The goodness will last forever. We're used to the negative one. We're not used to the positive one. We don't know what we're experiencing when we're in it. So instead of feeling hopeful, we can tend to feel hopeless. But that forever energy, it's from a different world, a different frequency. It's from the world of Shabbos Nachamu. Shabbos Nachamu begins to reveal the truth about Tisha B'Av. The forever energy comes into the world. Mashiach, Geula, third Beis HaMikdash. It just comes in a way that it's packaged in such a way that it looks dark, and it is dark. And yet there's a whole other side to it, which is eternally light. So the last point for today, these words, Nachmu, Nachmu, Ami, might, be comforted, be comforted. The ultimate comfort is only that. Nothing will do it for us. No candy, no prize, no spiritual candy, none of that will do it for us anymore. Been there, done that. And we all feel that, go impress me with another little prize, Geula prize. Nobody's impressed by these prizes anymore. Everybody feels we need the true eternal thing. And the amazing news is, it's actually coming. It was built on Tisha B'Av. It's coming. It was born on Tisha B'Av. It starts to be revealed in Shabbos Nachamu. Of course, the 15th of Av, much more so. We'll speak about that when we come to the 15th of Av. And the last point is that we want to bring out that these two Nachmus, the first one goes on the first Beis HaMikdash, and the second Nachmu goes on the second Beis HaMikdash. And they're entirely different energies, which is why you need the word said twice. Because the first Beis HaMikdash was an incredible revelation of godliness from above, not so integrated into the world, but incredibly high revelation of Hashem from above. Amazing. Deep, mystical, spiritual, incredible revelation. That's the first Beis HaMikdash. The second one was missing 5 things, missing 5 parts, and 5 kalim, and much more limited. Not such a high revelation, but much more integrated into the world. So we know those two things. Is it very high revelation, but it's not so integrated? I can't relate to it. Or I relate to it, but it's not such a high revelation. That's the first Nachmu and the second Nachmu. And those two words together they go on Bayis Rishon and Bayis Sheni. And the combination of those two is Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi. It's a threefold Beis HaMikdash. It has the milos of the first Beis HaMikdash and the second. Very high revelation and integrated into the world. As it says in formal Lashon, Gilui Elokus b'darga chinelis, a revelation of godliness on the highest level, in Kviyas Ba'olam, and integrated in the world b'ayfen nitzchi, in an eternal way, v'chibur shneim yachdav. And therefore, these two ways, of comforting us for losing the first Beis HaMikdash and the second one, brings us these two different forms of the Beis HaMikdash. It's in a way of infinity, true infinity. And the thing about the third Beis HaMikdash, Bli Gvul, and because it has no limitation, because it's putting together upper and lower and both together, that's the true meaning of Bli Gvul. So we're summing up by saying, the thing that we almost don't dare to dream of, I wonder if I could have access to the one thing that will solve all my problems. Experiencing Hashem in my deepest core, in a way that I totally integrate it. Very high level of Hashem, but I totally integrate it. Why would I want it? Nothing else works. Chassidus says, sweetheart, do you notice in the world today, nothing else works? How many summer homes, winter homes, ski resorts can you have? How many yachts can you have? How many vacations can you go on? How many investments can you have? How many businesses can you open? How many new podcasts can you make? How many, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? How many people do you know who are deeply satisfied in their life? Baruch Hashem. Many people thank Hashem for all their brachas. But that sense of deep satisfaction, minus the angst of life, they have a hard time finding it. Because the one thing that we want, that we're not conscious of, it's not more money, it's not more nachas even, we want nachas. It's not more self-expression, it's not more deep meaning, it's not, none of that. We want to experience ourselves in a union with Hashem. It is the only thing that can give us ultimate peace. And it's the hardest to achieve. And so this is what this week is about. That being handed to us, at least the beginning of it, on a platter. You've earned it. Yidden. You went through Tisha B'Av. You went through all the struggle of all the generations. Life is not simple now. Hashem is handing us the Geula, the eternal Geula, in which all of those, that we want, the really deep union with Hashem, which will give us everything else, including all the, all the money and all that, it will give us all of that. That comes through Tisha B'Av, the positive side of Tisha B'Av, the infinite connection with Hashem through Nachamu Ami, through this Shabbos, through the hard work we've done through all of the generations. So may we, from this Shabbos, even before this Shabbos, find ourselves finally in the Gula Mitzvah Shlema immediately.